Those two images at the top there, some of you may recognise them, some of you may pretend not to recognise them. Now, wearable technology. Go on eBay and see how many Apple Watches there are on there. It's something that people have taken to and then sort of thought, oh, I don't really like it. My experience with wearables is that it's great, but it's still not that much from a pedometer. It is good, but it's still not quite kind of at the area that some were predicting. There's a remarkable statistic that 51% of people in the United Kingdom believe that innovation is going too fast. I find that a remarkable statistic, but actually when you think about it, it's not perhaps that surprising when you've got a lot of people that stand to lose their jobs and find that things are going too quick. So a lot of time that I spend thinking about from a policy perspective is how can we bring these people on board with these great digital and entrepreneurial revolutions that we're leading the world in. I think there's appetite for risk in the UK, but people are worried about investing their money because they might lose it all. And the appetite for risk that I use as an example for this is that over 1 million people last year opened a new stocks and shares ISA, which you spend, what, a minute, 2 minutes thinking about your risk profile, you answer 10 questions and then you never think about it again. Actually, let's get active investors in new companies coming up with new ideas. I think would be a great thing to kind of promote that sense of risk and get people investing in it as well. CrowdCube, which is an equity crowdfunding company, they had about 100,000 new people invest last year through their platforms, and I think these companies are incredibly powerful and a real force for good, but we need to get more people using them, the government needs to highlight them more, etc. This is the Gartner hype cycle. You have the innovation trigger, so this is where you get an idea and we sort of go on this, the human race goes on this great sort of exponential curve, hitting the peak of inflated expectations. And then you kind of hit the trough of disillusionment, so it all comes kind of off a cliff and realise that we want our fridge to talk to our television particularly. And then we kind of move up on a slope of enlightenment and then supposedly we hit a plateau of productivity. The internet economy as a percent of GDP is a way of looking at how much it's spread across the entire country. So the UK's makeup of GDP as the internet economy from this year will be 12.4%. Sounds great on its own, but actually it sounds a lot better when you start looking at the other countries. South Korea on 8%. We're over 50% ahead of where South Korea are. China is the third country on 6.9%, EU as a whole, and we increased that average a huge amount. The USA, often seen as sort of the world leader in tech, and it is of course with Silicon Valley, but it's struggling to kind of spread it right across the country. And the G20 as well, we outrank. So to put that into perspective across the whole board, that's where the UK is, quite literally years ahead of the competition. So it's just something that we don't talk about enough, and we should talk about it more because we are really good at this stuff, and sometimes we don't quite go out there and talk about it enough. So it's my mission to try and get us doing more of that. For those of you that are interested, I managed to walk around so much on stage, I took 1,500 steps according to my wearable tape. So thanks very much.